Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. Today is the 4th of July, so I wanted to do a patriotic collection of vintage and antique items. I'm going to start with the Maraheta collection, which as you can see here, let me turn this over. I'll get a close-up so that you can get a better view of the maker. And that's Maraheta. It's actually a company that was started by a woman in, oh goodness, I can't recall right now, but it was pretty early, 1940s, 50s, somewhere around that time period. And they actually do, let me move over so you can see, they actually do a lot of the porcelain for the White House. For the White House and the diplomatic reception rooms at the different departments of the government. So this one was from the Department of State. I'm going to give you a look at what it is. It's an urn slash pot, and it's very patriotic. It's got the eagle and the E pluribus unum, and let's this. It needs a bit of cleaning, but I kind of fell in love with these when I was doing some research online, and I've been collecting them ever since. I've got a couple of these pieces that were with the Department of State. They do give them away. These aren't stolen or anything. They do give them out as gifts to dignitaries and etc. So it's pretty difficult to get a hold of these, and they range in price or in value, not in terms of the price that I paid, but they range in value from a couple of $100s to, I've seen some in the $500 to $600 range. And I want to give you a bit more of a close-up on the eagle. There we go. I also have these small vases. These aren't designed for the Department of State, but they are also Maraheta. And I've been pretty lucky in getting these in the $10 to $15, $20 range instead of paying those much higher values of $300 to $400, $500, $600. And let's get you more of a close-up if we can. Let's see how in focus we can get it on the eagle. I really like the eagle. What I've also been collecting relatively piecemeal is this President's First Birthday in the White House plate from the time of Dwight D. Eisenhower. As you can see, it's dated 14th of October, 1953. And what happened is that he was having this kind of charity event for his birthday. Maybe a couple of hundred people were invited, and each person got this commemorative plate. And then the regular public kind of got wind of it and found out that there were these commemorative plates and they wanted some. So they did a small run of those as well. There are actually two different kinds of this plate. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer so that you can see some more. Yeah, it says this commemorative plate using the Pennsylvania Dutch symbol of the intertwined dove signifies love and peace. And these were actually designed by Tiffany and Company, but they were manufactured by Castleton, China. The items that I'm going to talk about are my brass eagle and related kind of print. It's something that I'm actually going to be, let me get a much closer look so you can see the feathers and the detail in here, but I'm going to be putting in a specific special frame because I have an ancestor that was in the Civil War. He was in the colored troops of the Civil War, and I'm going to show you the back here so that you can see more of that detail and how it hangs. And what I'll be doing is I'll be putting together just kind of a framed memorial to that ancestor of mine. I've actually had someone in my family in all of the wars since the Revolutionary War. In fact, I've had multiple people. I could be in what do you call that? The Daughters of the American Revolution. I just have to get around to compiling all the documentation and doing it and just submitting the application. But I do plan on doing that at some point. And right here below it, and this will also be part of that memorial, this is an 1863 print, and it's May, let me get it right here, it's May 23rd, 1863. And this is the Mississippi River. And it is, the reason why I purchased this, it's from Harper's Weekly, which is a magazine from that time period. But this is Vicksburg here. And then down through here, where is it? Ah, here we go, right here. Colonel Joe Davis and Jefferson Davis. And that is Jefferson Davis of Civil War fame, who was the leader of the Confederacy. And my ancestor was actually stationed at Jefferson Davis's plantation after they overtook it. They did post and garrison duty there, and they also did post and garrison duty in Vicksburg. And you see that distance there. They walked that distance. They marched that entire distance when they were doing post and garrison duty. And they basically liberated the slaves off of Jefferson Davis's plantation, which I think is pretty ironic considering that they were the colored troops. They had a few minor skirmishes and etc., but I was able to find this print that really detailed a lot of the places where my ancestor actually performed his duties. So I really want to have this included in that memorial that I put together. And let's get it close up. I have pictures of Jefferson Davis's, the slave quarters on Jefferson Davis's plantation, and his actual plantation, and of the 64th Regiment, which is where my ancestor was. He was in the 64th Regiment of the U.S. Colored Troops. And I'll try and post photos of that. Bye. Happy 4th of July. One thing that I'll be doing with the photos that I have of the Davis plantation and etc., and one of the tips that I have is to take your old photos. As you can see, I have a very old photo of my great-grandmother, and it's in black and white, but this is actually a scan. We took the original, scanned it, and then went to Walgreens. You can do it at Walgreens, Rite Aid, Walmart, any place that prints photos, and get a printout, put it in an old frame, and it looks just like the original. So I highly recommend doing that, because a lot of times in families there's one keeper of all the family original photos, and in our family we actually had a fire, and one of the people who had all the old photos, it was her house that actually burned to the ground, and all of those really old photos, and I'm talking back to the 1800s, were just lost. So this is an option for you if you don't want to be the keeper of the photo and have that responsibility, or if the keeper of the photo does not want you to have the original. Just get a scan, make a copy for yourself, and it looks like the original itself. Bye.